guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It is me, Jordan. I'm back with another story time. This one is going to be like kind of a story time, kind of a PSA. I've been debating on telling this story for a while, but part of my embarrassment for old Jordan and then just anxiety that comes with this story has, eaten me alive. But I'm finally going to tell it because this is kind of a PSA for all of my younger male or female viewers, because I do want you guys to be better than I was at this age. I always get in the comments like, oh my god, you've done so much, you've had so much fun so young. Yes, I had a lot of fun, but I also made a lot of mistakes that I don't want you guys to make. So part of me telling you guys this stories is me hoping that you guys can live through me, so you don't have to make these mistakes and deal with a lot of the bullshit that I had to deal with as a result of me not acting my age. So yeah, I hope you guys like this story, and let's get into it. Okay, so this story takes place when I was, 12? Yeah, because I was about to turn 13. Now, like I said, I'm not proud of this story. This is more of a PSA for you guys because I want you guys to learn from my mistakes. But when I was 12, I struggled with a lot of self-image issues, and I wasn't necessarily I have a cool family, but I wasn't necessarily told oh my god, you're so beautiful, or I love you all the time. My family is not a very affectionate family. We're just now starting to get into that. So I struggled a lot with validation issues as a young teenage girl, or preteen girl, whatever. So when I was 12, my family had moved to Louisiana for literally a month, and then some family issues happened, and we ended up moving back to Las Vegas. And I went to a school on the east side, and we lived with my grandmother, and then I left that school and I ended up going to another school in the middle of my 7th grade year. So when I went to this new school, it was like I said, it was in the middle of the year, so everybody had their cliques already, everybody had their friends, and for me, this was extremely depressing. I was just oh my god, I'm never gonna make any friends. I did everything I could to kind of, I don't even know if I would say fit in, or kind of just feel normal. Like I said, around this time, my family had moved back from Louisiana. We had lived with my grandma for a little bit. So my parents didn't have a whole bunch of money at this time. So thankfully the school I went to was uniform for the second half of the year, because they couldn't afford to buy me all these fucking clothes. So thank you God. But even still, it was I was wearing the same uniform pants all the time. I think I had maybe 3 or 4 pairs of fucking pants. I'm just telling you this so you guys can kind of get a perspective of how I felt going to this school. Now, I did end up making a few friends, but it wasn't anything major or serious. They were all kind of just oh, I had some friends in some classes. But I ended up making one really good friend, and we're gonna call her, because this is my friend to this day, so I don't know if I want to put her name on here. We're gonna call her Bear. Okay, so keep that in mind. Me and Bear are really good friends. So I had a few classes with Bear, I think, but the main class we had together was study skills. Now, I didn't talk to anybody in this class for the first month that I was here. I had my hair straight in the entire month. Nobody even knew what my real fucking hair texture was. And I wasn't going to a predominantly white school, so I don't even know why I did that. I think at the time I just felt, oh, this is gonna be contradicting, but I only felt pretty with my hair straight, and I wanted people to think that I was pretty. So I ended up washing my hair, and I remember Bear came up to me. She's like, oh girl, I didn't know your hair was curly. And I was like, oh yeah, I was just wearing it straight, whatever. And then from that day on, we became super close. That was my home skillet biscuit all of 7th grade, and that one of the only friends, well, besides a few other girls, one of my only friends that I really had at this school. I wasn't popular at all at this school. So we were in study skills, and Bear was very flirtatious. She was definitely more popular. She had a lot of friends. She was talking to boys. She was just, in my eyes, more than I was at the time. So there was these two boys in the class that Bear had. I don't know if she knew them from 6th grade or if she just knew them from the class. I really don't know. But she knew them, and we would talk to them. Mostly it would be them talking to her, and then gradually they would come sit with us, and they would talk to me too. So I'm okay, being friends with Bear is kind of beneficial, because this bitch is bringing me male attention that I never had. So we're gonna call him Nacho because that's what me and Bear used to call him, like in real life. We used to call him Nacho. So Bear was talking to Nacho's friend, and I was really interested in Nacho, but Nacho had a girlfriend. Keep in mind, this is 7th grade. I was a home wrecking ass bitch, but Nacho had a girlfriend, and that's just what it was. But I really liked him because, like I said, at this point, I loved like any kind of like love or attention that I was getting. Thankfully, I've grown out of this. Thank fucking God. But I just loved it. So I ended up exchanging my Kik with him. If you don't know what Kik was, it was kind of like, Kik was like Facebook Messenger before Facebook Messenger was as popular as it is. Because Kik was like different. Like when you logged out of Kik or if you logged off the app, all your messages would delete. You wouldn't have anything. Like you had to stay logged into Kik to be able to see your messages. It was like popular, like if you were sad, you changed your Kik profile picture to black. Like it was just like weird. So we ended up exchanging Kiks, and at this time I had literally like this fucking rinky-dink blue touchscreen Nokia phone. Very important to remember. So with this phone, I couldn't get Snapchat. I had Instagram, but I didn't have DM. And then I had Kik, so all I would do was play games and then Kik and Instagram, but I didn't have DM. It was like horrible. It didn't have a front camera. Like this phone was a rinky-dink as fuck. So I couldn't text him on Snapchat. And you're going to like, because I know people are probably gonna be like, why didn't you just text on Snapchat? You were gonna be doing this. I couldn't because my phone couldn't get Snapchat. Like it didn't even have. It was like a Bing phone. Like you didn't even have Google on it. It was just weird. But anyways, and I don't think Nacho had a phone because he would text me from his tablet. But anyway, we ended up talking on Kik. And I am so stupid. Like after like fucking 3 days of like talking, he's like, I love you. And I'm like, I love you too. Just like stupid and fast and like attention deprived. So he ends up asking me for nudes. And I was like, I don't know, because at this point I've never done this before, because I was really chubby when I was younger. Well, not like really chubby, but I was chubby. I didn't like how I looked, so I wasn't used to necessarily getting like attention from boys or talking to boys up until I was like in 8th grade. Like honestly, the boy from my last school I was in 7th grade, he liked me, but even then it was like, why? Because I didn't even like myself. Like my face was just super chubby. I just didn't feel pretty. But so when he asked me, he was like, come on, like I love you. And I was like, what the fuck? So I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't want him to stop talking to me. So I sent them. Yeah, definitely not one of my prouder moments. So I ended up sending them, and then the next day at school, bitch, you will not believe it. You will not believe it. I walk into school. He has his tablet. All his friends are crowded around his locker, and as soon as I turn the corner, they look at me. So I'm like, there's no way. Yes, fucking way. He was showing my little booty to his friends. And I was like, oh my, like I did not even know what to say. So I ended up telling my friend, I told Bear like what happened, because keep in mind, we still had a class with him. So I told Bear what happened before the class, and Bear confronted him. She's like, were you showing her pictures to your friends? And he's like, no, like I was not doing that, like no. Which we know like that was a lie, but like he said no, he wasn't. So he ended up asking me for another picture, and I think I just sent like a bra picture. Like I didn't send anything like crazy, but those were the only time I ever sent pictures, and he would send me videos of his little, you know. Keep in mind, this is like, and like I said, this is more of a PSA because I don't want you guys to do this. Do not believe him if he says, oh, I'll never show you, I'll never, like, I love you, I'll never tell anybody. Because, like, I was just young and stupid. I didn't have, like, a lot of guidance. Like, I had older sisters, but obviously I wasn't telling my older sister about this. However, I do have a sister my age that I told about this. My sister my age has a different mom, but we were super close. We've been close my entire life. Like, we were, like, really close back in the day. Not so much now, but we were really close. So I told her. She ended up telling my older sister, but I didn't know that. So I guess my older sister told her, like, you need to tell dad or I'm going to. Keep in mind, I don't know any of this is going on until one day, nobody's home. I'm awoken in the morning by my dad. Like, he's like shaking me. He's like, get up. And I'm like, what? He's like, why is your sister on the phone telling me you're sending pictures to little boys? And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? So He's mad as hell. He left my room for a second. I must have deleted every single picture of my phone. I deleted Kik so fucking fast. I kept Instagram because like we didn't have DM or anything. But I deleted Kik. I deleted all the pictures off my phone. Like I was not fucking playing. My dad comes back in. He snatches my phone from me. He's like, what's the password? The password was probably like fucking like, I didn't even know what the password would have been, like love or something. I was like, the password's love. He goes to my phone. He's like, he's on the phone with my sister. He's like, I don't fucking like see anything. He's mad. He's like, did you send pictures? And I'm like, and he's like, stop crying. Answer the fucking question. So I tell him the truth. He's mad. And let me be honest, this is the only whooping I've ever gotten in my whole entire life. Usually I would get like a little pop on the hand, or my mom used to like pinch us, but I had never gotten a whooping with the belt. He got the belt and he smacked me twice, and he literally said to me, it should have been more, and he just walked to his room. He obviously took my phone, and I'm sitting there fucking crying. I'm embarrassed. My mom wasn't home, so my mom comes in the house. She's like she's just disappointed. My older sisters are like disappointed. It was just the most embarrassing experience ever because everybody knew about it. And till this day, I was like, I'm thankful that my sister said something, because if she hadn't, the situation definitely could have got a lot worse. And yeah, but my parents were like talking about going down to the school, and I was like, please don't, like that's so embarrassing, like we can deal with it at home. Like they wanted to go to the school and get the boy in trouble as well. Like they were so fucking mad. I had to beg them not to, just because I was like, that is so embarrassing. But if it was me as a parent, honestly, I would probably be on that same way, like we're going to the school, bitch, and both of y'all little fast asses are done. But no, I was like begging them. I was so embarrassed because like everybody knew. Like I said, I was mad at my sister for saying something at the time. Now I'm like grateful looking back, but it was still like, what a betrayal of sisters, am I right? But I was like, what the fuck? So this happened, I remember like it was yesterday, on March 24th. This was March 24th, probably like what, 2016? So that's 10 days before my birthday. I remember it because it was 10 days before my birthday and a month before my dad's. So my mom was like, I don't even know if you're gonna get a birthday party. And keep in mind, I was supposed to be turning 13, so like that's a teenager. Like you're supposed to get like a birthday party. My mom was like, I don't know if you're getting a birthday party. Like I don't know if you should get any gifts. And then she like was like, we went to my grandma's car one day, and my mom was like, do you want to tell your grandma what you did? And I was like, no, I don't. And I like was crying. I was like, no. And my grandma was like, did you have sex? I was like, no. And my mom told her anyway. Her best friend came over. My mom was like, do you want to tell her what you did? I was like, no. Like, she was just fucking weird. I'm sure she already knew what I did, but I'm sure my mom already told her. I was like, no, I don't. So I ended up having a birthday still. I got my phone back 3 weeks later. So I guess my consequences weren't as severe, but what I did was extremely bad. I'm in no way promoting this. I would not want any of you guys to do this. I wouldn't wish this experience on my worst enemy, because the humiliation I still feel, because I went to high school with this kid, and we have like I have another story about him that I'm kind of hesitant to tell because it's actually extremely like emotional for me. It's extremely upsetting. And even like on my first day of high school, my sister made me point out who he was. Like my mom made me promise not to do that, like my first day of high school, because he was going to my high school. But yeah, I have another story about him, but it's actually a very serious topic, because I did end up, like, I wouldn't even say talking to him, but I had a run-in with him again, like my sophomore or my junior year. I seen him at a college party like a few months ago, and I almost had a panic attack. So yeah, I wouldn't wish any of this experience on any of my worst enemy. It was actually horrible for me, and I still struggle with like stuff from that today and like the other experience. But let me know if you guys want that story, and I'll definitely think about it. Like I said, it would be a very serious story time, very serious topic that is kind of a lot. But let me know. And yeah, this was kind of my PSA, and that's when I got caught sending my little ass like an idiot. But yeah, I hope you guys learned from this story time. I hope you enjoyed this story time. Let me know if you guys want to hear more story times. I actually think the next story time I'm going to do is when my homegirl's boyfriend tried to kill us because he was mad at her and she thought it was so cute, because I did a TikTok about it and people really wanted to see it. But yeah, be safe. Don't send pictures, please. And I love you guys.